prepared for my colonoscopy endoscopy. Or, as somebody so delicately put it, a twofer. I thought it was funny. You need humor in all things. But this is actually a very serious matter, so I'm going to explain what I did. I got an excellent grade, and so that is why I felt I should just share and hope the best for everyone. Okay, I received a colonoscopy endoscopy maybe a week or two ago now, and I got an excellent grade on it. And I will definitely take credit for trying very hard to make it a really good thing. I'll tell you one thing that motivated me was the idea that they said if it wasn't a good clean and we didn't do a good job, they would have to repeat the entire process. And I'll tell you, that's a very good threat. So it worked, and I did my part and got an excellent grade. So I received instructions actually a little earlier than my appointment, and the reason being is I had to cancel 3 times before I had the actual procedure because I had other complications. So in my experience, make sure all your other parts, I guess my blood was off, and so they had to make sure everything was going to be okay for this procedure. Make sure you're in good shape enough to have the procedure. Since I was able to receive the instructions early, I was able to plan ahead. So about a week and a half before I was to go in for the colonoscopy endoscopy, I drank kombucha every single day. A side note on the kombucha, there can be great benefits or not great benefits. It is however you respond to it and what your belief is in it. For me, it worked very well. So there can be controversies over things. This one worked very well for me, and I absolutely loved it. So I had prepared before. I'd been drinking my kombucha. I followed the instructions. They said no nuts or anything like that. I actually did it a couple days beforehand because I had the instructions. I thought I'm going to really implement this. Not just the day before, but really like a few days before, so there's no problem. We can make this as smooth as possible. And actually, generally, I eat a lot of nuts. I love them. We have cashews and almonds all the time, especially because my stomach doesn't feel good. And I know that I need some sort of nutrients and some fat in there, all of that. So I will eat a lot of them. But I stopped doing that. And I took into consideration the things that they thought were important, and I actually implemented them, I think, 2 days in advance, pretty much stopping anything like that. So I took this as an opportunity to treat myself. I was told that this would be one of the worst days of my life. And I thought, well, I better make it better, right? So I had already had the instructions. I was following them, looking forward to my health, and wanted to keep my spirits up. So I set up a little TV tray, and I put my computer on it, and I put in a movie, a DVD, Spy, which is very funny. And then I got all the notes and papers that I need to go through, bills, whatnot, and I put them all in the bags, and I got ready. So what I did is I got that all prepared and ready. Nice and clean, perfect to sit in. Wonderful, right? Should be up here. I'm gonna put it there for you. And then what I did is I took my So I did take 4 pills. Took the Miralax, I had a big old bottle of Miralax. And I had 2 Pedialytes. Now, dosage is very Pedialyte. Small. It's not a secret. It's pretty good. Well, comparatively, right? And so I usually get like the Walmart brand or even Amazon or whatever. The off-brands taste great, comparatively. And this one, it doesn't have the sugar or coloring, so it's a little bit different. It's like their newer version. This is from Walmart. So what I did is, because I love my family, I had already taken my pills, and then I took a big container for juice, and I poured in part of this, then I poured in the Miralax, the whole entire bottle, and I poured in the rest of this, and then I poured in another Pedialyte and mix. Make it thoroughly mixed, right? Then I poured the stuff back into this Pedialyte and another Pedialyte. So the first Pedialyte that I was going to drink was not heavily marked. Now, I did this because I love them, and if they were to open the fridge and think, oh, that looks good, maybe I'll try some, they would have a very big warning, weird pink thing, and a Christmas bell. Don't drink this. You'll be in agony. Don't do it. So that was my little trick, and I seriously think it's smart. Anyway, so I would do that. So then the first one, so once I refilled both of them, because they want you to do it one at a time and mix it, and it was mixed as thoroughly as it's going to be, there was a little extra, right? Because now I have a mix, changing the volumes, right? So what I did is, for the first time I had to do the drink, I drank the extra. I thought, you know what, if I'm going to clean it, let's just get it going, right? So I drank the extra plus the bottle that they had. Now, earlier what I did, as I'm putting everything into the bathroom, I set my alarm. Boom, 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 boom. It was for every 15 minutes that I was supposed to do it. And the first one was 5 minutes before I was even going to start. I wanted to make sure everything was good, give everyone a heads up. Hey, I'm going to go there. I actually watered my lawn and took care of my plants because I thought if I'm out of service, I want to make them happy first. So then I went in and I drank my drink. And at first I was like, this is child's play. I could do this all day, just cleaning me out, all good, right? And I'm texting, I'm just, relaxing, thinking, oh, no big deal. Midway through, I was like, are you serious? This is ridiculous, right? So it got exhausting. I finished the drink, did my thing, and then what happened is and you have to drink a lot of drinks. Oh, I nearly forgot to tell you this. I was drinking throughout the entire day, obviously, and I usually stay extremely hydrated. I had a lot to drink. I had my Pedialyte earlier. I had water. I had gotten some chicken broth and chicken bone broth, so I could count that as dinner and lunch because you have to have liquids the day before, right? So I had those, and they're actually quite delicious. I hadn't had them for years. And then I made sure everything that I had was clear. I didn't do anything other than liquids. I didn't do the Jello. Some people do Jello. I just thought, why chance it? I don't want to do this again. Let me just be very strict. So I had my liquids. I was drinking, getting it completely good. And I hadn't had kombucha that day, and I didn't do it just the day before. And the reason being is I didn't want to throw it off balance because I just wanted to stay with exactly what they had said. So then I drank a lot of liquids. I was able to watch some of my movie, and I have to say, I corrected myself. I had this cool office set up, but I didn't want to be stuck in there the whole time. So luckily my room was right there, and I would go out into my room and maybe read a little and zip, right? And I'd watch the movie. And it got me through some rough spots. And I tell you, it is exhausting, and it is a very rough night. It's not exciting, and you have to think, oh my God, this is for my health. I need to do this. I think just about everyone in the world will be having to do this at a certain point. I saw the importance. My sister and I had gone to a cancer, it was kind of like a fundraiser or just informational things that we need to start doing. And they had come back saying that people were getting colorectal cancer at a much younger age, and that people needed to be tested younger. And it's the first time I really had heard of it. I know that people do need to get tests. I know people who are younger who have passed away from this. It's very important, right? So I knew it was important. I know that everyone's going to have to do it, and, take care of yourself. And sometimes it's a rough day or two, but so is, not feeling well or not doing well. You've got to take care of yourself. So it was totally worth it. And I kept thinking, this will be good. This too shall pass. And it did pass, right? So I was there. And then by the time I was able to finally get sleep, because I had to give me some major positive thoughts. I watched the movie through. I fiddled around on the phone. I mean, anything. I was able to finally crash out, and then I woke up in the morning. Now, I woke up, and that was because I set alarm, because I needed the alarm to tell me that I needed to start my second bottle, the jingly bottle. So I woke up to start going through it for the day, because you have to do X amount of hours beforehand. They give you an entire chart, which was very informative. I'm very grateful for that. So what I did is I got up and I looked at my email, and I'm not always one to go through all those things. I do a lot of fun things online, but I don't always have to, I try not to bombard myself. So I look at it, and it's an email saying, on the day of your appointment, do not, absolutely not ingest anything. No liquids, no solids. And I'm panicked. Here I am, ready for my second set, right? And I'm thinking, but I'm trying to follow instructions. You said in this printout that I have, I've got to follow it. And then you send me this, and what do I do? I thought, you know what? I'm following instructions. I'm going to do the second half. So I did. Followed through. Absolutely. I had later on that day, because I do need to stay hydrated, I had just a teeny tiny bit of water because I was dying, right? We get there, and it is hot and humid, and I'm sweaty and exhausted. And I'm like, oh, I wish I could have a sip of water. And they said, well, actually, I think you can have water up to 3 or 2 hours before you have this. And I'm like, what? Now, according to each one's instructions, make sure you follow those instructions, right? So, but I had already missed the time. So we go in, and I had to take a pregnancy test because I was of age. I think it's up to 65 years old. So, I mean, everyone's taking it. So you go in, you take a pregnancy test, right? I'm sitting in the waiting room holding a bottle of urine in my hands. And they're like, just take it with you. I'm like, but I did. And I got over it, because such is life, right? The best way to want to get your colonoscopy, endoscopy, is to go through the night before. You'll be so wretchedly tired and exhausted and burnt out. And before all of this, I'll tell you, I didn't have a hard time canceling my appointments because we kept having to change it for other health reasons. I was happy. I was so embarrassed to have anyone look there. I did not. To me, I was like, no, I don't want you to look there. I'm fine. We don't need this, maybe if, they never see me or whatever. Like, I really did not want anyone to go there, right? By the morning, when I was there, after I'd gone through the roughness and the second dose, because it gets you, I was like, you know what? Don't care. Let's get it going. I don't care. You're in the room. I had 7 people in the room. And I was like, who cares? Gah. They went there. I was so happy to get it done. So by the end, they knocked me out. I think it was propofol or something like that. I'm not really good at drugs. So I got the knockout. They put a thing in your mouth to do the endoscopy, like bite it, and I can just compare it to like a PVC pipe, because that's what it reminded me of, is like a PVC pipe. And they're waiting, and they've got like a screen here, a screen there, and I'm like, oh, this is scary. Right? And then they had me lay over. The guy did got a little scar still, or mark still, not so bad, of the IV, and they had me kind of sit over, hug a pillow. They talked for a second. I almost zoned, and then I woke up again, and they're like kind of pulling back, like, oh no. And then finally I'm like, I must go to sleep. Zonk. I dreamed of Fruit Loops, and I woke up to, I don't know what they were saying. And then they wheeled me out, and it was really nice. It was done and done, and I got to go in and switch on my clothes and all of that. Heads up, another thing. I wear contact lenses. I am blind as a freaking bat, like seriously. And I didn't get a heads up that they didn't want me to wear contacts, that I needed to wear my glasses. So I had to take out my contacts there. They gave me like things, but not proper solution or holders. They were nice about it, but just, you know, not the right stuff. And I dropped a contact lens there. And if I tell you one thing I won't do is pick up anything on a hospital floor. I will not do it. That is like, no, that's where all the germs are. And I'm totally freaky about it. I was like, let it go. So I was totally blind the rest of the day until we got home again. And so that is a heads up. If you wear glasses or contacts, bring your glasses. I don't know if everyone has that policy, but I was kind of surprised when I went there for that. And I was blind as a bat. And I think that was it. I think that if you prepare maybe a week in advance, if you take care of yourself and just be like, okay, we're going to get through this, be your own best friend, and give everyone else a heads up, hey, I'm going to be out of commission for a little bit. Great. You can go in, you can have it done. And I'm telling you, you may be embarrassed before, but once you go in there, you don't care. You want it over with and you want to never do that again. But do the best of it, right? Make the absolute best of it. That is my 2 cents on going in, getting your colonoscopy. I'll do like a little infograph or something and add some pictures for you just so you have a little more information. I wanted to share this because I was looking for something like this for me. I always like it when people share so we can kind of